Hi, I'm Brett McCarthy, and I'm the Program Coordinator and Chef Instructor for WKCTC's Culinary Arts program, and welcome to Cooking at the College. Hi, and welcome back to Cooking at the College. I'm Brett McCarthy with the West Kentucky Community and Technical College's Culinary Arts program, and I'm so pleased to have you join us once again. This is our second episode, and I'm just delighted to be doing this and to be showing you some of the wonderful techniques that we show the culinary arts students here. We're going to be doing something that is very fallish, and it's called a pumpkin chiffon. And a chiffon is basically kind of like the texture of a mousse, except instead of folding in whipped cream, we fold in whipped egg whites. And so that's what makes it very, very light. And you usually use like a puree. In this case, of course, we're using a pumpkin puree. But you can use other different things like strawberry or lemon. You can have all different kinds of chiffons. The first thing that we're going to start out with, well, let me just show you some of the main ingredients first. We have egg whites here, egg yolks, brown sugar, pumpkin puree, half and half, a variety of spices, which I'll go over and tell you exactly what those spices are. We have gelatin, and for the base, we're going to have graham cracker crumbs, melted butter, salt, and some sugar. I'm also going to be spraying the souffle cups with this release spray. You can use butter, you can brush them with butter. You know, there's really no specific thing that you'd have to use. But this pan coating works really, really well. So the first thing I'm going to start out by doing is I'm going to just spray these souffle dishes. And if you don't have souffle dishes, don't even worry about it. You can actually do this in a prepared graham cracker crust. You know, you can buy those in the store. And don't even have to bother yourself with the graham cracker at all if you don't want to. And you can also do it in a prepared pie shell as well. So there's really a couple of options that you have open to you. Traditionally, this particular pie is in a pie shell, but since we've been studying pies and pie dough for so long, about a week now, we're actually going to move on to other bottoms that they can use in addition to pie dough for pies. So what we're going to do is first start out with a cup of graham cracker crumbs, okay? And we're going to add a half a cup of melted butter. And an eighth of a cup of sugar. And a quarter teaspoon of salt. Now, if you use salted butter or you use margarine, you won't have to add the salt, okay? And we're just going to stir that up. Until it's well moist. You should be able to press it very easily. You should kind of stick to the spoon there a little bit. Okay. We're going to add this to our dessert cups here, our souffle cups. All right, we're going to put just about a quarter cup or so in each one. This is just an estimate. You don't have to be too particular about it. There's enough product here that you can actually make 8 of these or approximately 2 full pies, okay? And I'm just going to take a spoon. I'm just going to press that in there. You don't have to be too, actually I'm going to use my hands a little bit because it's going to work better, okay? And it won't stick to your hands because it's got so much butter in it. Okay, and we're just going to press that in very nicely. Just beautiful, isn't this? And I'm going to add just a little bit more stuff here. This makes up so easily that if you were running a little bit short, you could make up some more just very quickly. That's what I like about the graham cracker crumbs. And now you can buy obviously the graham cracker crumbs already crumbled for you, so you don't even have to worry about that. All right, so I'm going to set this aside and give that to my imaginary assistant. You know, we're low budget around here, so I'll end up cleaning this all up. So, okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to combine the base for our chiffon mix, okay? And that's actually going to be a combination of pumpkin puree, okay? 2.5 cups actually, okay? And if you don't mind, I'm just going to get my notes here, because again, I don't have cue cards like a lot of the expensive chefs here. So I'm going to get my notes in here. We have a 1.25 cups of brown sugar. As you know, with baking, you have to be exact. I don't know if some of you know that, but if you've ever baked a cake, you can't just be roundabout. Now, if I was doing something that was more savory, or what we say culinary in nature, then I could estimate a dash of this, a little bit of that, or whatever. But with baking, I have to be dead on. So I'm making sure that I don't make a mistake, and that's why I have these notes here. Okay, we're going to add 3/4 cups of half and half. All right. We're going to add 8 egg yolks. All right, 8 egg yolks. Okay, that's it. All right. We're at a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. All right, so we're just going to stir that right up. And basically what you're making here is you are making the same base that you would if you were making pumpkin pie, okay? The difference is that you're not going to have the sweetened condensed milk, or the evaporated milk rather. You're not going to have the evaporated milk like you usually do in pumpkin pie. And you're just going to make a nice mixture here. All right. I'm just going to put that right there. And then the next thing that you want to have going is you want to have a double boiler, and just boiling pretty rapidly. Now what I like to do is get yourself a couple of very nice rubber spatulas. You can get this at a restaurant supply store. Don't go to a grocery store or some other place to get these. These rubber spatulas are meant to resist high heat and melting, and they can be put in the dishwasher a number of times, and they're really, really nice. But what I like about them is, as I'm putting this something over this base mix over the double boiler, what I can do is I can be scraping, and it's not going to get dried on the edges, okay? So this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring it right over to the double boiler. I got myself a nice dry towel. Steam can give you a bad burn, so I got a towel here. And I also have a thermometer. We have to bring this to 180 degrees, and that is to dissolve the gelatin. I'm going to show you the gelatin, which is added at the end here. It actually kind of keeps it all together. So I'm just going to stir that around till this comes up to 180 degrees. And if we didn't have that, the gelatin would not dissolve properly, and it wouldn't do anything. It would just sit in there, and we don't want that. So in order for that puree to actually combine and set up for us, we need that gelatin to blossom. So I'm just going to keep stirring this away, and if you just give me a couple of minutes, we'll make this happen. Okay? It doesn't take all that long. I'm doing this over a double boiler because I don't want to scorch it, and I don't want it to change its consistency. I just want to bring up the temperature. So if you were to put this in a saucepan and try and do this over the stove, you probably could do it, but you would have to really stir fast to keep it from setting up. And I don't want this to set up. All I want to do is get it up to temp so that it's hot enough to blossom that gelatin. Okay, so we're going to give that a couple more minutes It's already up to 110 degrees, and you see how nice this spatula is. And it can just scrape things down very, very easily. We just love these kinds of things as chefs. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting that thermometer right into the product. And you can see it going up. Now you want to make sure you don't touch the bottom, and you want to have that probe as deep as possible, at least 1/2 to 3/4 deep. If you don't, you're going to get a false reading. So a lot of times what students will do is they'll just do the tip, and you just don't get the same reading. You want to kind of get that probe in there, and that's just the best way to do it. And of course, if I stir it like this, I'm going to bring the hot up to the top and the cool down to the bottom, and I'm just kind of moving it around. A little convection. I got a little pumpkin mash on my face there. I'll take that off tomorrow morning when I shave. Okay. All right, so we're at about 130 degrees. I got to get this bad boy up to 180 or so. So if you just give it a couple more minutes. You know, the culinary program here is one that we're very proud of, as I said before. And we're constantly trying to improve upon it so that Paducah can have a program here that they can be very proud of, and that the ever-expanding number of restaurants have a very good resource here for the culinary arts students. You know, all too often, you know, culinary programs aren't able to meet all the demands because there's just not enough of them out there to, if you can believe it, and there is quite a few out there, to meet the demands of the industry. So we're trying to keep up with that and have quality chefs come out of here. Okay, let's try that one more time. Okay, we're at about 140 degrees, so we're looking at about another minute or so. It won't take all that long. While that's heating up, I'm going to actually take this gelatin. And basically, we got 2 packets of Knox unflavored gelatin. And you don't have to use Knox, you can use a generic brand. So I'm not touting Knox over another brand, and I'm just going to put that in. Basically, I'm just dissolving it. It just helps get it ready. All right, just stir that up very quickly. All right. Okay, so let's see how this is doing here. This requires just a little bit of patience. We got about 10 more degrees. And I don't want to rush it, because if I do, we're not going to have the outcome that we want. And I want this to be nice and hot. You see it's at about 170 right now. Now, I tested this earlier this morning. I really got up to that 180 real fast, so I don't know what. Sometimes things just take a little bit longer. Grab myself another clean towel. One thing I like about working in a commercial kitchen is I have unlimited clean towels. as many as I want. Okay, that's ready to go. Okay, so we have our mash right now. And I'm going to take this gelatin. You can see that it's set up. This is all right, not a big deal. Okay, just set up a little bit. And we're going to put it right into that very hot mash. All right. And that'll melt. You don't even have to worry, you know, that you're going to have bits of gelatin in there. That'll melt just great, and that's exactly what you want it to do. If it's not hot enough, then that gelatin won't melt, and we won't set it up as well as it should. Okay, so you can see that that just completely disappeared there. And that's perfect. Okay. By dissolving that gelatin a little bit in cold water, that just makes it incorporate better. That'll also help set it up. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to have to move over to our mixer, and what we'll do is we'll take those egg whites and sugar, and we will make some meringue. Okay, so I have my egg whites here. I'm going to put them right into the bowl. And I'm going to whip this up pretty high. Not so it just goes all over you. All right? I kind of get excited, you know. We're going to whip these egg whites. Kind of helps if egg whites are a little bit warm. They'll whip up a little bit better. So that's why I had them sitting out for a little while. And just like we had 8 egg yolks in the pureed mixture, we have 8 egg whites for the meringue. Okay? A lot of times when you have to separate eggs, you have the egg whites and the egg yolks, and that's basically the recipe allows you to also use the egg whites. So we're just going to whip that up. What I'm trying to get is soft peaks. KitchenAids are really nice mixers. I actually had one walk off the counter one time, a long time ago as a chef. Walked right off, and the only thing that pulled out was the cord. I reconnected the cord and the thing still worked. So now I'm going to, at a slightly moderate speed, I'm going to stir in my sugar. Just gradually add in the sugar. Okay. And then I'm going to continue to whip it for about 30 more seconds. I want the consistency of basically melted marshmallow or marshmallow fluff. I don't know if you've ever had fluff. I've never used the stuff myself, but I've seen it in the grocery store, and this kind of looks like fluff to me. So we're just going to whip that up. Okay, we're going to take this back over to our pureed mixture, pumpkin puree, and that's exactly what you want it to look like. Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take the whipped egg whites, and I'm actually just going to put this right in and just dump that right in, okay? Don't do anything to it until you've dumped every bit of it in. Scrape it. All right, and then you're just going to fold, and I emphasize the word fold, this in. And I actually could have whipped those egg whites just a little bit more, so just another minute would have been perfect, okay? But this is what you want. You want to fully incorporate, but you want to fold. And you can see that I'm just going underneath and then folding over. Okay, that's why they say fold in. Not stir in, fold in.
Why fold?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you fold?
The folding is so that we do not actually deflate this nice, all that air that is whipped into the egg whites. If we were to stir this, this would not be as light. So you can see I'm coming from the bottom and I'm trying to get out all that okay. I think that's perfect. I just want to fully incorporate, make sure I get it from the bottom. It's another reason why to have this nice, don't want any streaks or anything. Okay, so that's beautiful. Oh, can't believe this. Okay, so next thing what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this right into the souffle dishes, just like this. Right? And we're going to put this into your refrigerator for at least 2 hours. This will be a very nice and inexpensive dessert. Yet very elegant. All right, so I got these 4. I'm going to take these and put that into your refrigerator or cooler. There is enough product to make about 8 of these big ones. This is enough for one person, by the way. It may seem like a lot, but it really is perfect for one person. It's so light and so airy that you'd be surprised at how fast somebody will eat this up. So that's it. Okay, so we're going to put this in the cooler. As I'm trying to open this door, you know, I just closed the cooler. I'm not weak or anything, but you know, it actually starts that seal, so you got to wait a couple seconds before you reopen it. Okay, so we're going to make our whipped cream. Running short for time, so I'm going to do this a little bit quicker than normal. We got 2 cups of cream. We got 1 cup of sugar and about 1/2 teaspoon of rum extract. And I'm going to just put a dash of cinnamon in there. Doop. All right, and we're just going to whip that up. You can start out slow, and as it starts to thicken up, you can go a little bit faster. Try not to get it all over you. Okay, so we're just going to whip that up. We're just trying to form soft peaks here. That's all we're trying to do. Just form soft peaks. As you can see, it's doing very well. And that is done. I just want a nice soft whipped cream. That's it. Just a little bit soft, not too fluffy. Okay, so we have our whipped cream here, and I just whipped it just a little bit more than what you saw when we broke away. And one thing I want to do as a correction is not a cup of sugar, it's actually a half a cup of sugar. Okay, and we're just going to put that right on there. And I just kind of like the natural look there. You certainly could pipe it on if you wanted to make it real fancy. I think this looks just nice, kind of homemade-ish. I'm using a lot of words that don't exist in the dictionary, fall-ish, homemade-ish. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of nutmeg, and you can actually grind the nutmeg on there if you want to. I didn't have whole nutmeg available. Okay, and I'm going to have Tammy from the TV department try it out. Here you go, Tammy. What do you think?
It's great. Can I take this with me?
You certainly can.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, thank you for joining us at West Kentucky Community and Technical College's Culinary Arts program. We appreciate you supporting us, and I'm Chef Brett McCarthy, and bon appetit.